sir. Hi, Lana.
Hi, Habibti. Hi.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
guys.
Hi.
So, yes, regarding my project for last week, I wanted to ask you, sir, as part of the survey, I developed a survey for the employee engagement because I am in the CHRG course. So, my question is that I noticed that most of the people are not so on the same terms of their organization.
Okay.
In terms of what? In terms of like, whenever I asked, like, was your salary affected by COVID-19? Was it like a hard time for you to work from home or something like that? Some kind of questions like this. Some people had neutral responses. So my question is that as an HR, can we put it into consideration to develop some policy? And do you think it's essential for us to develop a policy for times in crisis? Or do you believe like it's like gonna be like for this COVID-19 and maybe in 50 years from now, we're not gonna see another crisis? Because hopefully not, of course not. But for me, I think, and I believe like, it's not like we have to work to the book. COVID-19 has proven to all of us that we are humans at the end of the day, and we cannot control everything. And you cannot control everything by rules and regulations and policies. And for simple people, which I mean like people in the entry level or people has started their career, it's like a very, very new situation for them. So I don't know. I believe like developing a policy would be much more essential for any organization, especially the international ones, because sometimes maybe an organization might be affected by a situation in another country, even though the same situation is not happening in this country, let's say so.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. I think, the COVID-19 situation has been an eye-opener for all of us in HR. I've been working as a consultant with quite a few organizations, and there is a lot of fear and apprehension. See, even don't go by the response. Whenever I see a response which is neutral, I consider it a negative response. Because, people are just afraid to express a view, or they just, don't want to say it. But the minute it's neutral, on any front, like it tends to me to be a negative response. And therefore, normally when you do a survey, it's good to also do a focus group discussion to identify what exactly is happening in their mind. Because this neutral response piece tends to be people who have something in mind and may not want to express it as easily in a form or something, because especially youngsters, they have a lot of apprehension. Oh, if I say something negative, I might be blamed for it, or somebody HR or management might hold me for blame. So I think it's important to communicate, and in fact over communicate whenever we are having such issues. Today, I don't know, are your people working from home? I presume they might be.
We are working with a 50% capacity to work in the office.
Okay.
Some people are coming to the office. Most of the people are working from home. But with that being said, I'm getting the feeling that it's not pleasantful for everyone, which means the people who are coming to the office are like having, I don't know how to describe it. Off the record speaking, they're having this feeling that they are doing all the job, and some people are staying at home to feel the flexibility, because, whenever you need to come to the office, you need to work to the working hours, you need to commit to everything, you need to attend meetings, and so on and on. So this is causing some kind of confusion for the employees, as I can say, because some of the employees are saying like, we are working from the office, so some other people are working from home, we don't have this flexibility, we have the same circumstances. But again, the nature of their job make it essential for them to work from the office. For example, for us, the HR people, we have to work from the office. I cannot process my daily work working from home. Okay, I can do that, but it will be a long process, for signatories, authorizations, and so on and on. So with that being said, I don't know, I'm feeling like it's a bit confusing for me whenever someone comes to me and asks me like, is it some kind of a policy that we are relying on to do this? Is it some kind of a method we are relying on? And it's so confusing, especially here in Jordan. I don't know if you have heard, sir, we have what is called the defense law. Okay. We have the labor law, but in the defense law is like a law that here in Jordan it was established to cover the essential issues that COVID-19 is causing for the people in the work section, in terms of payroll, in terms of work conditions. Some people had their salaries reduced because they are working from home. For us, it wasn't the case. But some people are still afraid that we can reach that point. So I don't have an answer, you know. I cannot say like, yeah, it's gonna be okay, because maybe in one day, 1 week, 1 month, it's gonna be this way. We're gonna have to reduce the payroll. So I don't know. I feel like whatever we say in the HR department is like a Bible for the employees. I cannot say something that I cannot feel that I'm so committed to or so assured of.
So I think, Yasmin, I completely empathize with you, because today's, the COVID has been like a black swan event. It doesn't happen regularly, but it's really, really created a lot of turmoil in the minds of people, apprehension, fear. I think, regular communication from senior management about the direction of the company, what are they seeing in the next 3 months, next 6 months, must be done. And if there are any changes in situation, that communication, the top-down communication, has to be continuous and firm. This is my first principle. I think, as your senior management, you must, it's not HR's responsibility, to be honest. I think it must be done by somebody who is like a CEO or a CXO level position, communicates regularly to employees as to what the company is going through, how is the economy doing, what is the issues we are facing, how are we overcoming it. And that motivation should be there, that everybody feels, yes, we are going in this direction. Otherwise, what happens is everybody mind going in a different direction can create a lot of issues for the company. Yeah. So that's the first principle I've seen. Second principle, and I think this is a very, very important principle. I find the minute you have a set of people coming to office and a set of people not coming to office, the basic principle of equality is shaken. So the people who are coming to office are feeling, hey, we are doing something extra. Some people are enjoying themselves, and it's unfair to us. And so everybody is like, okay, why am I coming and why is that other person? So this is the basic principle of equality, right? Earlier, everybody was coming. Now, some people are coming and some people are not. Yes. So what is the issue? So there must be some equalization of principle. Either you give the people, if you're financially strong or something, to be fair, you should give something extra to the people who are coming, and like some special allowance or something for them who are coming, at work allowance, if possible. If that is not possible, then remove something from the people who are working at home, like some conveyance allowance or something, and clearly say, look, you're not coming to office, so you're losing something. Because see, this is what we call the basic equality principle, right? Equity has to be maintained. And equity is always in comparison to others, right? So you can tell them, look, earlier you were coming and now also you're coming, so you're getting the same salary. So they'll say, yeah, that's true. But why are those people not coming to office? And obviously they're saving cost, right? They are staying at home. They don't have the cost of coming, travel. We are taking the extra risk for the office to come to the office. Aren't we doing something extra? See, there are two psychological principles here, equity and valency. Psychologically, as a HR person, you must try to make these principles work for you. Equity means compared to others. I'll just show you the formula which is normally there, which is, so equity means I'm putting in effort and what is my reward? So I'm coming to office, I'm getting my salary. This gentleman is not coming to office, his effort has come down, and he's getting the same reward. So therefore, I am under equitized compared to the other person. I'm getting a higher problem compared to the others. So I need to get something extra. Either I get something extra here, so my effort is higher than compared to somebody. So let's say my effort, I am getting compared to my effort, somebody is getting a higher reward compared to his effort. His effort is less, right? Because he's sitting at home. He's getting a same salary. So in effect, he's getting a better equity compared to me.
Yeah.
And therefore, what am I getting in exchange? So either you reduce the reward for him, pay him less, or pay him more. Give me something extra or give him something less. That's the only way to address this. Second principle is what we call valency principle of psychology, which means if I'm giving something extra, I expect something in return. So what am I getting in return? Now, return can be, even recognition. Why don't you give people, some kind of T-shirt saying I'm working from office, or, give them some kind of badge, to say something. Even recognition is important. Extra efforts, COVID warrior. So Yasmin is a COVID warrior of the company. Why? Because she's coming to office, she's fighting COVID, she's coming and she's doing her work. So give them some badges, something in return, See, it's like, if you do something for a friend, you expect something, maybe a thanks at least.
Yeah.
So if you are doing something for office, and let me assure you, if you in HR are going to office every day, and so what are you getting from the organization is a question which, even if you don't ask the question, it will be in your mind. So give them a badge, give them something. Like I have an organization here. It's Randstad. I don't know whether you've heard of this company called Randstad. My colleague is working there as the HR head. And she was telling me that for people who are coming to office, they've kind of made them feel like they are, prince and princess of the organization. They gave them a T-shirt. They gave them, a handy bag. A handy bag had a little bit of sanitizer. It's like a small bag which has a lot of nice goodies. Goodies like sanitizer, some kind of set of things which people can use, a mask, all the stuff that they can be given, and all high quality stuff. So it was given in a nice pouch. And COVID warrior was given on that. They were given a badge. They were given a T-shirt. And after some time, people who were working from home said, hey, I don't mind coming to office if you're going to give me all that. Few people who were allowed to work from home and were, very happy sitting at home, they started saying, hey, these people are getting a lot of goodies. Why can't I come to office and get it? And they were given some special lunch and, generally made a little bit like, and, photos of them were sent to everybody. These are the COVID warriors of Randstad. And it was put up on their website and all. And a lot of fuss was made about people working in office. I think that something in return principle must be applied to make people feel it's fairer. Otherwise, you'll get this sense. See, what happens when people have under equity, right? What happens when the under equity principle happens is they try to reduce their effort. So if they are asked to come to office, they'll kind of crib. They'll say, why am I coming? So I'll give you my practical example from my company. So in my company, we were having a group of people who were supposed to come, and we were having alternate day work. So there was one group of people who were working completely from home and another group who were working alternate day from office. So the people who were working alternate day, kept cribbing, why 3 days? Why can't I come for 2 days, etc., etc. People working from home were fine. So then we also laid down certain principles that everybody has to come to office for those 3 days, alternate days, which 3 days they have to fix as per their teams, and everybody comes. So everybody was equal, and that issue died down. Now, that may not be possible depending on situation, laws, other things. But I think you have to give them something in exchange, Yasmin. Otherwise, they'll be pretty unhappy. Or at least,
have one question.
Yeah. And these are what companies are doing. I mean, the example of Randstad, which I gave you, I think is a good thing. I mean, it
Mm,
doesn't
mm.
cost too much. It's just a lot of recognition.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Nitin sir, I actually have one question. Just to sorry to interrupt you. Based on this only, now when we say we have to reward the person who is taking some extra efforts and all, but then in this case, what I also feel, maybe I'm wrong, but we are seeing only one side of the people who are coming to the office. In a normal scenario, yes, they have to come to the office and do the work. But now, as there is a COVID situation and people are working from home, but we also don't see the efforts of the people who are doing the work from home. Here,
Mm,
what they are losing is they don't get the luxury. Like even they have to maintain their house daily work, that also they have to manage, as well as they have to manage the work. In this scenario, we don't have the timeline. Like in at least office, we have the timing, like 9 to 6 or something. But when we are working from home, there is no bar. The meetings are also sometimes gets over at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or sometimes at 8 o'clock. So in that scenario, we also don't count their effort, how much they are also taking. So in this scenario, if we want to do the proper equalization, we also have to take the feedback from the people who are working from home. What are
mm.
the challenges they are facing? And people who are coming in the office, what are the challenges they are facing? And basis on that, we can have the equalization, and then we can decide upon the rewards and what we are doing. I think that would be the fair judgment if we
No,
do it.
so the point I was trying to make is just the act of coming to office, because I've seen this in several organizations. People who are coming to office often feel that they are doing something extra, and they always feel they have done something extra by giving them some small gift like COVID warrior kind of a thing. I think you're also taking care of their protection, right? It's a mask, it's a sanitizer, it's maybe some tissues, maybe some other things like and very high quality stuff. So you're just taking care of their safety while they're traveling, because people who are coming to office have two problems. It's not just the amount of work. They also feel the fear and apprehension of traveling, coming. They're taking extra risks, which
Mm,
is where the problem lies. For example, in Hyderabad, where I stay, the problem was even the transport system was not fully operational. So they were having to, take extra care to come to office. Even the act of coming was higher. So I'm saying just to equitize that. But by the view, I appreciate what Supriya said. It is important to also make people who are working from home feel appreciated. So it is very important in the communication to also emphasize that people from home are having all these challenges, which I'm completely with Supriya. In fact, I have felt it myself that, if you work from home, there is no timeline. Anybody, my timeline used to be, at least when I used to leave office earlier, I used to be okay. Now working from home, the timeline has stretched and people can call me up at any time and deal with that. So you have to have open communication forums. You have to talk to these people, make them feel good about it, appreciate them for that. But the reward system has to kind of you won't have too many problems of people working from home asking for extra rewards, but you'll always have the problem of people coming to office because they are spending more, they are doing extra effort, they are also having the cost of all the issues. So it's not a unilateral process. While you do this, you should have open houses with people working from home, talk to them about the problems, give them counseling, give them support, maybe have some online events happening for people working from home, because another problem they face is a sense of isolation. So having some open events like in my company, we did a Bollywood quiz, which is basically just a fun event where people working from home could participate in a quiz activity with others. And this became popular. So every week we have a 15-20 minute get together where we do some fun activities.
mm.
Um, all that has to happen parallelly. I'm not saying one is a substitute for the other, both should happen. Keeping the people working at home comfortable, appreciated, talking to them, handling their grievances on one side. But for people coming to the office, maybe give them some extra reward to compensate them for the cost, etc. Because they always feel, see, people working from home won't have the cost of travel, won't have the other issues. So I don't mean spending a lot of money on them, but at least give them something.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, Supriya, are you okay with me on this discussion?
Yes, sir. Totally. No, I
Yeah, but
just
this is a problem that all of us in HR are facing. So it's a
Yeah.
very careful line and balance we have to draw and work hard at it. And I
And
don't envy any of us in HR, handling all these problems. It's not easy challenge. It's a pretty tough thing.
And sir, it's a very good point what Supriya has mentioned, because I am facing this as well with people who are working from home, and I know that they are true. Of course, they are not having the best of their times working from home, as you have mentioned, and she mentioned as well that people who are working from home, they are like having this. They have to balance between the work, the household, and their work. Every second, every minute, they are expecting a new tasks. Because people are assuming that you are working from home, you're doing nothing. I know it's a wrong assumption, but most of the people are dealing with that, and they have addressed that to me and told me like it's not like I'm working from home. Is that I'm doing nothing? I'm working. So yeah, it's a very good point. So I don't know, the balance is like during a crisis is something like no one wants to deal with, because you cannot please everyone. I'm sorry to mention that. Yeah, we are doing our best, but eventually some people will still feel like, no, it wasn't like this case or that case. So
Yeah, so as I said, I think both activities have to happen. And as a HR person, don't expect any appreciation or reward from
yeah.
your
Neither
team,
from
because
the
as
employees
HR
nor
people,
from the management.
it's a lot of often a thankless task, unfortunately. But then we have to do our very best in this situation.
Yeah, yeah.